So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jasmine Pelez. I am the Communications and Outreach Manager in our Department of Resident Life. And we are here to chat with you about room selection. And I'm joined here with my two colleagues, Glenn and Glow, and I'll allow them to introduce themselves before we start our presentation. Glenn?
Hi, my name is Glenn Smith. I'm one of the assistant directors at the Department of Resident Life. Welcome, and thank you all for staying on for another year.
Hi, everyone. I'm Glo. I'm the Assignments and Housing Processes Manager. Again, we thank you for staying on for another year.
Wonderful. Thanks, you guys. So before we jump in, I just wanted to get a baseline of information for you all, just so that we're all starting on the same foot here. So room selection is the process by which eligible students can select their own on-campus housing space for the next academic year, meaning 2025 to 2026. I'll note that yesterday, Resident Life shared an email to each student who submitted their housing and dining application, letting them know of their eligibility status. And that lets you know if you can participate in room selection. And if you're unsure of your eligibility status, go ahead and double check your email, your inbox, and also you can check this information on the housing portal. And therefore, you'll know definitively where you stand going into room selection. Next slide, please, Glow. So I do want to highlight two key deadlines, two key timelines when we're talking about room selection. So this process will begin on March 3rd and run through March 10th. What's really important for you all to take away today is knowing that the deadline to select a space for next academic year is March 10th at 4 p.m. So please secure your space, pick a unit, pick a room by 4 p.m. on March 10th. That is absolutely critical because if you do not select a space by March 10th at 4 o'clock, this will result in cancellation of your housing and dining agreement, meaning that you will not have the opportunity to have a space for the upcoming academic year. So two things really, really key. That the room selection opportunity, our process, will be coming up on the 3rd, and it'll run through the 10th, and you have that whole entire span of time to select a room, making sure that you do so before 4 p.m. on March 10th. And I will now hand it off to Glenn to proceed with the rest of our overview about room selection and how it works.
Thanks, Jasmine. So students will be presented with some options for room selection, which again begins on Monday. Students who are in a living and learning program have a decision to make. Do you want to return to your program floor building if eligible? Or do you want to select with your non-program roommate friend or even your program roommate friend and live outside of your living learning program area? Students who are in groups of 4, 5, and 6 will be able to participate in the large group selection, meaning that they'll be selecting amongst buildings that can hold units that can hold that group size. So if you're in a group of 4, you will find a room that only holds 4 students. And then we have our individual and small group selection, which are for students who are in the smaller groups, 2 and 3, or selecting as an individual. And you have the same options as well, but you'll be sharing potentially with another student. Next slide. The Living Learning Program students who are selecting in large groups, which is primarily students who are in Prince Frederick, you will be able to select amongst the semi-suites that are available in Prince Frederick on your program floor. So if you are in one of these 3 programs, you will be able to select within the semi-suites in your program. If you're in a smaller group, and most of the living learning programs are in smaller groups, you also will have the opportunity to select suites, traditional doubles, triples, quads within your program area. Students who are in smaller groups still will be able to select semi-suites as well as doubles. Students who are CPS scholars have a lot of options in their program buildings. Students in HGC will also be able to select within Dorchester. There's a limited number of spaces available in Dorchester. So once those spaces are gone, those students will have to select elsewhere. Students who want to remain in an honors type community, but aren't able to return back to Pianchino Johnson Whittle or their program buildings, they can select La Plata floors 3 and 4. And then students who are in Writers House will have 2 floors available in Queen Anne's Hall. Students in Honors Humanities also have a limited number of spaces available in Anne Arundel. And then finally, unless you're in ACES, you don't have to return to your living learning program, and then you can just participate in a general room selection, either large or small groups. For large groups, rising sophomores will be able to pick first, starting on March 3rd. If you're in a group size 4, 5, or 6, you'll be able to select from the many South Hill suites and apartments, as well as apartments in Leonardtown. And if you're a group of 4, Oakland semi-suites. And then starting March 4th, rising juniors and seniors will also be able to select in large groups. The same spaces will still be available: South Hill suites and apartments, Leonardtown apartments, and Oakland semi-suites for those who are in groups of 4. For small groups, rising sophomores will be picking on March 3rd. Small groups are from 1, 2, and 3 residents. Same spaces are still available for those smaller groups, as well as traditional hall singles, doubles, triples, and quads. And the same applies to rising juniors and seniors, who will start picking on March 4th. Those same spaces are still available. Keep in mind that at this point, spaces may begin to dwindle. You should have a plan B just in case what you're looking for is not available. So you can explore on our website what spaces are built, what buildings, what room types, what group sizes are available. The next 2 slides will show you what we're saying and allow you the opportunity to think about making some backup plans. Discussing with your roommates, if we don't get what we really want, what else can we choose? Again, what we're going to post is what it is now, but rooms will change as students begin selecting on Monday, so that will change. That the charts won't change, but once you log in during your appointment time, you'll see what's available at that time. For example, if you are in a group of 6 and you're looking to be in a South Hill apartment, you'll see that there are a number of units available in Allegheny, 3 in Baltimore, etc. Next slide. Again, so when you look on our website, you'll see this chart, and it'll be broken down based on number of group size. So if you're in a group of 6, for example, you'll see 8 units available, 8 apartments available in Allegheny. You'll also see if a group size is 5, 4, 3, and 2, and individual. So regardless of what type of group size you have, you'll see what's available and where they're available. Next. And you just want to have an idea about how many groups there are. For example, you see that there are 256 groups of 4. Folks, there are not 250 semi-suites in Oakland. So you need to have a backup plan just in case you don't get into Oakland. Again, take advantage of the spaces that are in South Hill. Consider adding or subtracting group members to get to where you want to be. So now that you all have your appointments, if you need to move the appointments around, so whoever has the earliest appointment can be the group leader. Remember, the group leader's responsibility is to select a space for the entire group and assign all students in the group to the specific bed space. So please agree on who's going to be placed where prior to the group leader's appointment. When a group leader logs into the portal and selects a room, they'll add it to their cart, and they have 10 minutes to choose it. So you have to really know what you're going to do prior to selecting. Remember, rising sophomores will choose first, followed by juniors and seniors, but it's very important to have a backup plan. Once you select a space, that is your space for next year. There will be a reassignment opportunity in June, but just remember, once you select a space, please don't call us to say, I want to unselect it. You have to wait until June.
Yep. As Glenn mentioned, I know that this is a ton of information that we're sharing with you all. But if you have any questions about what spaces are available for your group size, or how do I form a group, or when is my appointment, you can feel free to ask us through multiple different ways. You can email us, you can call us, and then also visit our office, which is located in Annapolis Hall from 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. Please come and visit us. I'll also post our email and our phone number in the chat. And please ask us your questions. We really want to be a reliable source of information to you all. And, if you're hearing from other folks information that you're not entirely sure is correct, is accurate, it's always just best to come to our assignments and public inquiry office with those questions so that we can give you the right and correct source of information. And I'll take a look at some of our Q&A questions and see if there's anything that kind of popped up amongst the questions that were asked. And please feel free to ask us additional questions in the Q&A feature in Zoom. Some folks were asking whether or not this workshop is being recorded. Yes, it is currently being recorded, and we will be sharing this to our Resident Life YouTube channel and our room selection webpage. Both links I provided in our chat, and those are absolutely two places where you can go find this workshop, share it with others after today, and for those folks who weren't able to join us. And I know some people also had questions about apartment sizes and what apartments is available to you. Again, we have information on our website as far as what is the availability of units and unit sizes throughout our campus unit availability. So please check out that room selection website to get a better sense of those numbers now and beforehand. And someone also asked, what is the earliest selection time? As mentioned, the room selection process occurs from March 3rd to March 10th, the earliest possible appointment being on March 3rd at 9 a.m. And again, I really do want to stress to folks that if your roommate group changes in any way, or your group leader is no longer your group leader, if things just shift around during the room selection process, we really encourage you that whatever happens, you make sure that you select a space by March 10th at 4 p.m. to secure your living assignment for the next academic year. And again, we are going to be available to you Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 4:30 to answer any questions that you have. Next week, we'll have even more folks across our Resident Life department who are going to be helping us answer emails and answer your inquiries to make sure that we get those responses to you in a timely manner and make sure that folks have the right information as they proceed through the room selection process.
If I can just chime in, Jasmine,
Yes, please.
regarding the appointments were issued randomly within your year. So if you are a rising sophomore, all rising sophomore appointments were then randomly assigned for March 3rd. Likewise, rising juniors and seniors appointments were randomly assigned for March 4th and so forth.
Glenn, we just got another question. Is there a set price for dorms, suites, or apartments that you live in? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Once you log in, once your group leader logs into the housing portal, and they select the room, before they select the room, they'll be able to see room information as far as the room number, the room type, and the cost for this year. There's also a link on the portal that will take you to show you next year's costs, which are right now proposed.
Right. Great distinction there. Those could change, and those are only our proposed rates for the next academic year.
I think someone also asked about the when they would have access. So the group leader will have access at their appointment time. Prior to their appointment time, the group leader will not see anything until their appointment time comes. And we ask that only the group leader logs into the housing portal, and that is to keep the portal from lagging down and slowing down and people having a hard time to pick a room. So only the group leader should log into the housing portal at their appointment time.
Someone else had asked if we have to have a group formed by now, can we still proceed with room selection? The answer is you can absolutely go through room selection as an individual. You do not need to be part of a roommate group, meaning with at least one other person. You are free to be solo in that process and select a space just for yourself.
And as an individual, all the space room types are still available, whether it's an apartment, a suite, a semi-suite, as well as traditional hall spaces.
Wonderful. Looks like we have all of our questions answered. As mentioned, if you have any further questions, please visit our office either in person, by phone, or by email. We're happy to answer all of these questions for you. We know that this is a ton of information. A lot of the resources and a lot of information is also on our room selection webpage on the Resident Life website, so please check there first. We also have 360 virtual room tours of many spaces and many different room types, so you can go on there and get a sense of what a semi-suite will look like in Oakland. If you have no idea what a semi-suite looks like, you can go onto our website and get a sense of what that could look like in Oakland or in Prince Frederick, just to give you that visual of what your room could look like for next year.
Okay, so we are going to actually log into the housing portal and show you how to pick a room. Okay, and then you're going to scroll down to where it says room selection. Again, only your group leader needs to do this. But you will see your appointment, and you will also see your group leader's appointment right here. So this is where you would know if you need to switch group leaders to get to the best appointment time. So then you're going to click on room selection. And you always have to go through this step, just to go through a few steps before you get to the page you're looking for. You just continue to click continue, click continue. Make sure you're selecting the right term. You're looking for fall 2025. Okay, this is just showing you that we received your application, reminding you of the dates of your room selection. If you needed a housing accommodation, there's a link to that process. Otherwise, click continue. If you are doing a gender inclusive group, you would select yes, otherwise no. Okay, so here's your roommate group page. You see we have a group of 4 here. Only the group leader can go any further. The rest of the group won't be able to go past this page. And again, if you want to change the roommate, the group leader, you can click here. If you want to remove a roommate, you can click there. There's ways to send messages and look at profiles as well. Okay, so the group leader is the only one who can go past this point. Everyone else shouldn't even be in the portal, but the group leader will continue to select the room. So as a group of 4, these are the spaces that are available. You see that we have spaces in South Hill. We have co-ops in La Plata Hall. If you're in one of those living learning programs, Prince Frederick will be available. And then for all others, Oakland would be available. So these are the spaces for groups of 4. If you're in a group of 5, there would be different spaces available. If you're a group of 2, there would be different spaces available. It all depends on your group size. Okay, so my group wants to live in Oakland. So we're going to select that and hope that there are still some semi-suites available. Just waiting for the page to load, and then there you go. Okay, there are some spaces in Oakland that are available. And you can keep clicking if you want to live on a specific floor. You can just keep checking, advancing the pages. You want to live on a 3rd floor. Remember, the group leader only has to select half of the semi-suite, and you will be selecting both sides. So there's 2 students on this side, 2 students on this side. You only have to add one to your cart. Remember, this shows you that there are 2 beds in this one side of the semi-suite, shows you how much it costs per semester, that's per student, and tells you what the room type is. The cost right now is this year's cost. Remember, to look at our website to see what the rates are for next year, the proposed rates for next year. So once you add a room to the cart, the group leader then has 10 minutes to make the room assignments and confirm that this is the room that they want. The little clock shows up right there, letting the group leader know that they have that amount of time to assign all the beds and confirm that this is the room that they want. So as the group leader, I'm going to assign beds for everyone in the group, starting with myself, and then my roommates. It shows you here that the first 2 spaces have already been assigned, so I'll assign the other half of the semi-suite here and here. Okay, this is not over. You still have to actually assign the beds. And again, you have 10 minutes to do all that. So once you click on assign beds, it takes you to a confirmation page, which is the final step. So again, those proposed rates, the link is right there. It shows you what the room that you have chosen and the cost. There's also a little disclaimer here that if we don't fill up your unit, we could be filling it up with other students. And then you'll get to this last step. Again, you still have that 10 minutes to get to this last step. Otherwise, you'll lose the space in your cart. But this is the absolute last step, which is to confirm selection. Okay, once you have done that, now you get a message that says you've been successfully assigned. You'll also be followed up with an email to all 4 group members, letting them know that they have been assigned and where. So if you don't have that email, that means you have not been assigned. And as Jasmine noted earlier, make sure you pick something before March 10th.
Glenn, there's a question. For the 10 minutes that the room is in the cart, can any other folks see that? Or try to claim that room?
Not while it's in the cart, no.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm an individual. I'm going to move on to select the room. And let's see what we have available. So for smaller groups, you can select by community. So if you have to decide which community you want to live on, you can also select by building and room type. But I want to live in Heritage, so I'm going to select Heritage. There are lots of rooms available, Johnson Widow, Pian Chen. Shouldn't say lots of rooms, but there are some rooms available in Johnson Widow and Pian Chen. Let's say there's nothing available. I want to switch it to something else. I can still select South Hill. And these spaces are, even though I'm an individual, I can still select spaces within the South Hill communities, within Oakland, within Leonardtown. I'll be able to select spaces even as an individual.
Okay, we got some questions in the chat. If you're an individual selecting a double, will it show roommate info if a room was already selected by another individual?
It's an excellent question. If you click here on show room info, oh, that was a bad pick because that's a single. Let me go back. Oh no, that still did it. So you go back to South Hill again. So if you click on show room info, you can see anybody who would have been assigned there already.
Great. And another question, do suite style living spaces have single or double rooms?
The suites and apartments will have singles, doubles, and sometimes triples.
Great. Okay, we have some other questions. How can we tell if a room is a single or double or triple by looking at the floor plans online?
The floor plans do show the room number designation. So if you were looking at the Garrett floor plan, and you looked at 0101A, you would be able to know that that's a suite single. But just keep in mind, you only have 10 minutes, so you don't have a lot of time to do a lot of research once your appointment time comes.
Right. Back to that idea of making a plan before you head into room selection. I know there was another question about, can we get price information prior to the start of selection? I'll just say again, in the chat, we've provided the proposed fall 2025 and spring 2026 room rates. So you can head to that link and see those. It's available on our University of Maryland Resident Life website. Glow had asked if she can show a floor plan example, and I think that might be helpful to folks that had that question. So Glow, if you want to take it away and show that, I think that could definitely be helpful.
Yeah, so just showing you, you're looking at the floor plan. Not the Garrett example, you could definitely look and determine by one size, okay, is a big indicator. And then the other thing I would say is looking at, we often get a bathroom question. You can see the bathroom, I'll call it model or outline there. But our floor plans are all on that website. But I would say it's important for you to look as closely as, again, through the difference between the A, B's, and C's, and then looking at the difference in sizes. Again, this is a child's example, but it's relevant for all the other spaces.
Great. I don't see any more open questions. So I'll close this out here. Thank you all for your time and your patience with us today. Again, if you have any other questions, please feel free to visit us here at Annapolis Hall. Email us at reslife@umd.edu. And we are here to support you, and we have the answers. So please come find us if you have any questions. And we wish you all the best of luck as you enter the room selection process. And we really look forward to welcoming you all next semester back into our residence halls. So thank you all again and have a wonderful evening.